I think there was always the curiosity, but the meaning behind what I was seeing that had to be built. What I always have been is I've always been like a good observer of the world. I'm a really great problem solver,
Yep.
but often the problem solving is just looking really closely at a thing. I call it an experiment because it includes risk. It includes finding out what it is, and discovering
hmm
it with the possibility that this thing may fail. Because a failure is okay. In fact, it's like part of the process.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Hugh Edmonds. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm excited to be here. I say this quite often, and today is no different. I have another fantastic guest. And I mean, call me out on it. Like, if you don't find these guys are fantastic at the end, shoot me a chat, shoot me an email. Let me know, like Quentin, you was lying, but you're going to see that I'm not. And so I have another fantastic guest here, very strong at what he does. Real estate development, also real estate advisory. And so I'm excited for you to learn about what he does do. I'm always like, where's my correct, my proper grammar with that? But learn about his business. I can't wait for him to tell you about it, Mr. Scott Choppin. Mr. Scott, how did I do with that last name?
You did great. Yeah, perfect. Appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. I appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you so much. I don't want to waste any time because I really, like I said, think this is going to be a very, very good episode. So I want to dive in. I want you to tell people what your main focus is these days. Tell people maybe a little bit of an origin story, how you got started doing what why you're doing what you do, and also what markets you're operating in as well. And
Mm.
so, Mr. Scott, sir, you have the floor.
I appreciate it. So, primarily, we're operated in two sectors of the real estate development domain. Our first and really core focus is building new construction apartment communities throughout California. And we focused on and innovated a new type of housing we call urban townhouse, or UTH for short. And that is a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom apartment unit type, a townhouse with a 2-car garage. And we're focusing on growing the pipeline of projects in California, and also endeavoring to build a platform around the Opportunity Zone capital space. It's a tax incentivized investment methodology, capital methodology, and we're putting those two together to build a pipeline of workforce housing projects to fulfill and house families, middle income families throughout California. And then the second part, which you mentioned earlier, is we are and have been for the entire life of the company, now 25 years this year, provide project services. So think real estate development advisory, project services to third parties, think business owners, landowners, people that need help with development projects and development expertise who aren't necessarily focused on that space. My origin story, real quickly, is based in Southern California. I basically am now 3rd generation in California. My kids are 4th generation in Long Beach in Southern California. and basically come from a family background in real estate development.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Choosing to be a real estate developer isn't exactly like, on the career list at high school, when you go to career services or your advisor, there's no books, so you want to be a real estate developer, that doesn't really exist. So being around it and observing it, seeing it, but having a family background, it wasn't necessarily, like didn't choose me or choose for me to have that career path. So I graduated high school, worked construction. I was in the trades as an electrician for 4 or 5 years. But through that, basically figured out not that, right? Not construction. And although I loved construction and actually I worked on new apartment buildings my entire electrical career, I didn't want to be, in the trades. And love the trades. No criticism of the trades. But that wasn't where I thought I was going to be most effective. Went to school, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and then basically came out of that with a, intention of focus to be in the real estate development domain. Work for a couple major development corporations here in Southern California, and then launched my company Urban Pacific in 2000, March of 2000, to focus on apartment development, throughout the state of California. We've been focused on that, now for 25 years. And then what was the last one? Remind me. Focus. I think I disclosed a little bit. We're really, look, California, good, bad, right? I love California. I'm a native, born here, raised here, raising my family here. Has a ton of things that we would say we could be doing better politically, tax, regulatory, housing shortage. But I think for me, the way I approach it is that, us building workforce housing apartment communities is really a moat, like Warren Buffett style moat, meaning is there some expertise or capability or intellectual property that business has that's protective of its business plan? And while being a real estate developer, anybody can do that. Having the expertise to process projects, like think politically and regulatory is, like a high capability, high knowledge, business, having an expertise to operate here in California. And so we run the gauntlet of getting projects approved in the state of California. And here's the moat is when we're done going through the gauntlet of getting the project ready to build and building it, it's in very high demand and it's very valuable when we're done with it. And so that's, sort of our like focus story around California. We've worked in several other states, and, I would work in those places in a heartbeat. I love Texas. I love Arizona. We've worked in Oregon, up in Seattle. So really almost all the Western states, Colorado included. But California is, it's, huge economy. I don't know, fourth or fifth in the world, size wise, population density. LA County has larger populations than, almost all the countries in the world, right here in our backyard. So for us, it has, a bunch of characteristics that make it a, very ripe opportunity.
Hey, Scott, thank you, man. Thank you for the way you answered those questions. I love stories, man. So I thrive on storytelling, listening to people tell their stories. And so I thank you for telling this story. I thank you for painting the picture. I thank you for telling us about third generation in real estate. Your kids gonna be fourth generation. I appreciate the fact that I believe I heard you say you kind of wasn't forced into it. Like they didn't force it on you, but it was still in you, right? It was still kind of, I call it epigenetics, right? Like it was like in your bloodstream, in a sense.
It really is. In fact, I'll tell you a
Yeah.
funny story. So I didn't choose it. I went to work
Mhm.
electrical, didn't choose
Yeah.
college. I made all those, I would say not poor choices, but, at the
Mm.
time, choices that I probably would do differently today.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
But a couple things happen. One is being around the job sites, working electrical work, right? Like you're in wood frame buildings. And I always knew when the developer of the project showed up, it wasn't our project. I was just working there. But,
Yeah.
we're driving a nice car, wearing nice clothes, moving around the project like, the boss, right? And
Yes,
I was
sir.
like, what I knew what that meant. I knew he's the developer, he's the lead dude, he's the, chief or whatever you want to call it. So that was
Yeah.
one part of it. And that was attractive to me. I was,
Yeah.
I was a dirty construction guy. And I was fine with it. Like I loved doing it. But I was like
Yeah.
that looks attractive. And I knew what that was. And then the other part of it was in that same time period, I love to read and I read a
Mm.
lot. And picked up like several real estate books. And one of them was this really 50s era crazy book. It was, how to make $1 million working in real estate on the weekends. It was one of those
Mm.
books, right? Really cheesy
Mm.
50s book, probably just throwaway when it was written. But what it taught me was, buy low, sell high, right? Buy a property, add value and sell it for more, right? Buy the apartment building, fix up the units, re-rent them at higher rent and sell it. For land development, it's, buy an empty property and build a building on it and rent it and
Yeah.
then sell it for more value. So that as simple as it was, taught me this is what deal making is. And this is how developers make money, which I, didn't, not that I didn't learn in my family,
Yeah.
but I that was like one of those lessons you sort of need to pick up on your own. So
Yeah.
that's always a fun story to tell.
Yeah. And I appreciate it. Again, love stories, and I thank you for it. I quite often say destiny has no wasted moments. And when I say that, I mean when you're on a destination somewhere, you pick up tools, habits, they become transferable. And so I love the way how you broke it down and say your self-awareness. Listen, I'm watching this guy, nice car, nice dress, looking at myself like, hey, maybe, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Where do you think that self-awareness has been there for you since you was younger? Like, have you always had that curious or kind of, I guess I'm saying curious or analytical to look at something and say, hey, that's serving them well. Maybe that can happen for me. Do you think that kind of curiosity has been in you and have served you kind of as you continue to build your success?
I think there was always the curiosity, but the meaning behind what I was seeing that had to be built. So
Got you.
like reading that book built background for me to then when I would, what I always have been is curious, hence the reading, but I've
Yeah.
always been like a good observer of the world. Like I'm a really great problem solver. This is what I say about myself.
Yep.
But often the problem solving is just looking really closely at a thing, right? Like, at my house, this happens all the time. Something breaks, right? And I'm like the fix it dude. I don't know any, like, if I'm fixing some electronic thing. I don't know. I'm just making this up, but I
Yeah.
will,
Yeah.
look at it and you sort of tweak it and push it around and see how it works. And oh, this one thing's not working. And
Yeah.
I don't know jack about this thing, but I can sort of see that the system, at least as I can observe it, doesn't seem to be working. I mean, we know it's not working, but then you look at
Yeah.
the specific thing that's not working and,
Mm.
you don't always are able to tell, but that skill and that curiosity to sort of poke and in fact, my distinction for it is experimentation. And I use that terminology because it includes risking something. I'm going to endeavor to do this thing or find this thing out and I'm going to go through sort of a process of it. And I'm not like a scientific experimenting kind of guy, but that
Right.
poking around in the the machine that's broken, that's experimenting, right?
Yeah.
And I contrast the two. I come across people all the time that either are not able to or not interested or not have the curiosity to sort of like poke around in things. Like, people, like one of the ones I always see is, people are like, hey, show me how to use this software, right? I need to use this piece of software. And I go, I don't know how to use it.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And they go, well, me neither. And I go, okay, well, just go poke around in it. I mean, it's like literally those are the words I use. And I
Yeah.
often observe people are uncomfortable with that. And I don't, it's not a criticism, but they're just like
Right.
built
Absolutely.
that way. But yeah, I'm in there sort of clicking around. It can be dangerous. There's risk to
Yeah.
it. So I call it an experiment because it includes risk. It includes finding out what it is and discovering
Mhm.
it with the possibility that this thing may fail.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
but the key is why experiment's nice, because a failure is okay. In fact, it's like part of the process. And
Yeah.
that's what experiments are. Oh, that didn't work. Let's do another iteration of, oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Oh, that worked. Let's do another one. And so I apply that to our real estate projects. Like I think of all of our real estate projects as experiments, right? Because
Yep.
they risk loss. We have to discover new things, and sometimes we know them well. Not all projects are the same level of experimentation. Some are low level. Hey, we know this well, and we're just going to maybe a new location, a new city, a new state, or something that's differentiated, but we know generally the process of it. Sometimes it's totally, we talked earlier in our prep, we build 5-bedroom apartment townhouse units with 2-car
Yeah.
garages.
Mhm.
No one's done 5-bedroom units at scale. So that was a grand experiment. And so we did things to make those experiments lower risk, to mitigate. But that ability to poke around and take risk and experiment and to discover the thing to fix it, which includes also discovering market gaps that you can exploit to make money and take care of your family. So I would say that would be a primary skill of mine.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, brilliant explanation of like when I say destiny has no wasted moments. Like I can clearly see the way you're wired, your analytical side, the curious side, why it serves you so well within your business, and it makes total sense why you have a development side. Like you scratching all your itches. You got the development side, you got the advisory side. Like we're gonna pick things apart in so many different ways, and I clearly see it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I love exploring those kind of avenues of business, right? Because a business person, they are who they are for a reason.
Mm.
And when you really dissect yourself and be self-aware of yourself, you'll really see, I know it may sound cliche, but see where your superpower is really being used right where you are. And we don't have to compare ourselves to nobody else. Let's just be self-aware enough to know who we are and use the superpower that we have to build successful businesses, to serve people, to figure out problems. And so, yeah, so I can't say it as eloquently as you, but I
Appreciate
thank you. I think that's beautiful. So Mr. Scott, let me ask you, what's the next real goal for you, sir? What's the next real goal for your business?
Yeah. I sort of alluded to it earlier, but we're really super enthusiastic about the Opportunity Zone capital and investment program. And that basically is a tax incentivized investment vehicle that basically will be focused on sort of lower and middle income communities throughout the United States and certain census tracts, certain geographic areas. And we want to go build our 5-bedroom apartment projects in those zones and use that capital for two purposes. One is that the capital, its tax incentive is that if you invest and build and hold that apartment community for 10 or more years, then you have no tax on the gains of the value of the apartment project. As well, you can take all the depreciation as you would normally in any newly built asset. And if you hold it past 10 years, there's no depreciation recapture. And so the
Mm.
tax incentives are huge. So I'm enthusiastic about that. But what I'm more enthusiastic about is that because that tax incentive is based on that 10-year timeline, it means that the capital we raise in the institutional and high net worth capital world is that those investors will be oriented around holding for 10 plus years also, which for us as apartment developers that use, outside capital as most developers do, that means we can own these for the long run. And that's what I'm really ambitious about. So we want to build this workforce housing, these 5-bedroom units, and combine them with a capital that will allow us to hold virtually forever. That's how I
Yeah.
think of it in my head, or at least
Yeah.
10 plus years, which is, almost forever in the capital world.
Right.
And we want to just build a ton of those, serve families in California in these low and middle income communities. Obviously, us and our investors will get the tax benefits, but we'll get to hold these and be stewards of these, workforce housing
Mm.
communities, for virtually forever.
Mm. You using some words that makes me my antennas go up when I hear them, like serve.
Mhm.
And then you said steward.
Mm.
What when I hear those words, it makes me smile because it really makes me, here to me, I like an anchor. Like there's a anchor in you that wants to serve and wants to store it. And those words don't they come from a unique place. And so when I hear that, it kind of makes me tingle because I'm like, I'm talking to someone who really know the benefit of helping people, right?
Yeah.
People are I always say people are the real currency.
Mhm.
And when you build a business around serving people, servitude, that's a sustainable business that's going to be around for a long time
Yeah.
because the foundation is about servitude. And so service is always obviously providing a need, but also it's service, right? That's the heart of it all. And
Yeah.
so when I hear those words, man, that really it gets me to perk up. And so because you got that mindset, I want to talk to you about relationships. I want to hear your perspective on building relationships. Have building relationships helped you in business? Has it was it a positive help, negative help? Like I just want to give your advantage and perspective on relationships.
Yeah. No, I'm right with you. So earlier in the prep call, we talked about that learning group I'm in, Aji Advantage, and the
Yeah.
and the folks that work in that. And really the fundamental characteristic of the knowledge that's conveyed in there is help, being an offer of help to people you do business with, and any human being, right? You said it earlier, right? Human
Yeah.
beings. In fact, the founder of that, Toby Hecht, he calls business human business.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because basically, I mean, if you said
Oh,
it earlier, like, we're not
mm,
transacting with machines. I mean, we could
mm,
argue about AI and where that's going to show up.
right.
And, we all have to pay attention to that. But fundamentally, we're doing business with other human beings and we're
Yeah.
helping them with whatever we do to help them, our offer. And then we ask for their help in return, right?
Yeah.
Often, in business, that's a transaction. And I don't mean transactional, I mean like true help where, hey, I'm going to give you this great help to build this apartment building and you're going to pay me to buy the apartment building. And so my help is building and organizing the building and getting it leased up. Your help is to buy it from me at the end of the thing. And, that's the trade. I help
Yeah.
you get an apartment building. You help me get money, right? Or profit, let's call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Look, the reality is networks of people, of human beings is the most important thing that we have in all of this. I mean, none of us would be capable of doing this stuff without other people that we know in business and that we transact with, that work with us on teams, our families, our loved ones, right? Those are all different kinds of networks. Our marriage is a network, right? Our spouses
Hmm.
and families that's associated with that. And so, a big part of what I've learned in this group, the Aji Advantage, is how to build those networks powerfully, right? And to do it in different ways. One key component of it is to build those relationships early before you need them, right? On most of
Mm.
us, most human beings are reactive, or we have reactive characteristics, which means that, oh, I need this thing, I'm going to go find the people to help me do it. A couple things to add also. There's a book, and I think I'm going to get the title right. It's Who Not What is the
Ooh,
name,
ooh.
and it's basically all about this. That here's the example that I would use for this book. All of us do this. Hey, I need to go fix this thing, whatever it is, or I need to do this thing. I'm going to go figure out how to do it. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to read books. I'm going to get guides. I'm going to PDFs. I'm going to learn how to do this. So that's one way to do it. And that's learning how to do the what. But the other way to do it, and really the stronger way to do it, is let me find somebody who knows how to do that. And
Mhm.
importantly, way better than I could ever be at it, because
Mm,
they've been doing that thing for, 40 years or 20
mm,
years. And
mm,
there's all that knowledge that they've built. I get
mm.
access to that. Um, and so that's the who. Right?
Yeah,
So, don't learn how to do it yourself. And I'm being very, literal and basic here. Don't learn how to do it yourself. Find the person who's expert at it and pay them. And that's a form of building networks, by the way, finding people that are great help in return for what you need. And by the way,
yeah,
the help is nested, right? So,
yeah,
like, I got my client here, I'm here, and then I got architects and civil engineers and other vendors. I got relationships with cities. I got relationships with capital sources. All those nest together in networks of help that all serve each other. Right? There's all
yeah. That
transacting
part.
and help going back and forth to all those different component parts. Right? Client pays us, we pay the civil engineer, he pays his employees, the employees, help their families, right? That layering and nesting is like infinite, right? Virtually.
Yeah. Mm.
So I think I'll stop there and check in with you on it, but I can't think of anything more powerful. And then I'll leave you with this, that this is came from Toby Heck, the founder of Aji. He said, people pay you for your networks. If you
Ah,
work and you have all this great help and powerful teams and powerful vendors, people want to transact with you because they know that you can deliver whatever you deliver in a great and powerful and profitable and effective way by all those people that you know. Right. And so they'll
mm,
pay, people don't think of it that way, but that's ultimately what they're doing. Hey, I need this thing done. I need the best team. I need the best, like leaders in those teams. That group comes together to deliver that product, and people will pay a lot of money for that.
mm. Well, listen, I don't want to talk over Toby. That great quote. People pay you for your network. I think that's exceptional. And I never quite thought about it like that, but I think that's brilliant. And so I'm glad you said that. That I wrote that down. That one's gonna be sticking with me because that causes me to even examine my network, right? And
Mm,
so yeah, I'm because I mean when you said my mind goes so many different places,
yeah.
and I think that's wonderful. So, but
It's
I
everywhere
want
when
to
you
say
think about
yeah.
it. There's no place that doesn't show up. And
Mm,
so, you know,
mm.
almost
Oh, it's
all.
so much I want to say. Ooh, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, time has been greatly well spent. I thank you so much. I think this was absolutely phenomenal. If someone wanted to reach out to you,
Mhm.
connect with you, collaborate with you, learn more about what you're doing, how can they get in contact with you, Mr. Scott?
Yeah, I would encourage people to go to our website. It's www.urbanpacific.com. So www.urban, like the city, Pacific, like the ocean.com. And then, we have outreach, portals if people want to message us through the website. My social media links are also on the About page. I'm on Twitter, X, predominantly in the real estate space there. And then I'm a little bit on LinkedIn. But
Yeah,
if people want to reach out through the website, that's the best way to get a hold of us.
beautiful. So I say this sincerely. Thank you for your time because time is definitely valuable. Sometimes you can leverage, money for your time. You people can be paying you for your time just to show up. That's a
That's
whole
right.
business in itself. So I say thank you, honestly. Thank you for your time. Definitely thank you for your stories. I love when people they know the power of their narrative. They know the power of their word, their story, and so their journey. So I definitely thank you for your story, and then thank you for your perspective. Thank you for the way you think. You have given us some really, really good perspective today. I think enough to even shift some people's mindsets if they
Mhm.
really sit and with those nuggets. I really believe it can shift their mindset a little bit today. And so I know my mindset has been shifted, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So, Mr. Scott, I really appreciate you being here today, sir.
Yeah, so good to be with you.
Absolutely. So, to the audience, listen, you can't tell me you didn't get the value. You can't tell me you didn't enjoy the show. I told you by the time we get to the end, call me out. If I didn't say it was going to be a fantastic show, if I didn't deliver, call me out. But not even just me. It's just the people. It's the way things work. It's the humility of it all. It's the networking, right? It's the networking of it all. I can't do this show by myself. Y'all don't just want to hear me talk. Mr. Scott has given you tremendous value. And so please make sure you're subscribed because I promise you, we're going to continue to bring up fantastic people just like Mr. Choppin. So, sir, I thank you. And everyone else, we will see you on the next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.